Warning, this video contains spoilers for DDLC Plus. Don't watch this if you haven't played DDLC Plus. For some freaking weird reason. How to get every single achievement in DDLC Plus. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so as we get into this game, there are going to be a total of 19 achievements to complete. For the people that have never played the game, even though you looked up this video, you start the game by meeting these 4 waifus. The girl I love to hang out with, child with anger issues, unhinged quiet kid, and best of all, Monica. After meeting these 4 waifus, you begin to pick which one you want to fall for before they all eventually die. And that's the story. Personally, I'd say about half of the achievements are a pain in the ass to complete, and the other half are just regular achievements you get in your everyday playthrough. The first achievement to get right off the bat is the achievement called No. This achievement is super easy, almost a no-brainer to complete. When entering the DDLC on your second computer, that you only play DDLC for some weird reason. When you press quit on the title screen and it asks, "Are you sure?" say no instead of yes. Simple! The next achievement on this list that should also take no time is Error. To get this, simply change your virtual desktop by going to Gallery, viewing an image, and choosing to make it the desktop wallpaper. See how easy that is? Look at you go! Next after that silly achievement is the one I know Dan Salvato just put in to troll us. Thanks for that, Danny boy. Good feature is literally just drawing boxes on a virtual desktop by holding down right click and dragging the cursor, as you can do on Windows. It's ultimately useless, but a pretty cool feature to add into a fake PC software. Buy My Mixtape is probably going to take a little bit longer than the rest of these achievements, as you spend 20 minutes listening to the desktop audio. Pretty self-explanatory. A good idea is to put Candy Hearts on loop and AFK, because listening to Candy Hearts for long enough will unlock a secret version part of getting 100% data completion, which I'll talk about later. Once you get to the poems writing section of the game, there are a bunch of achievements looking to be found. The first of the group is any %WR. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it's any world record percentage? Yeah, that sounds right. Spam click random words in a poem. You'll need to do this in 20 seconds, 1 word per second, but unless you have arthritis, this shouldn't be hard at all.
No.
We finally head to writing the girls some poems. I finally get to show my stuff to Monica. Just kidding.
She can never be the one.
Write a perfect poem for Sayori by using her preferred words for all 20 choices. You will know what words are hers if she jumps, but if another girl jumps, you have to reload the save and try again. Her preferred words tend to be metaphors for one thing: her emotions. Any emotional tie is her word. Here are the exact words for anyone who doesn't want to take risks. Writing a poem for Natsuki and Yuri are basically the exact same thing, except obviously, they're gonna have different words. Natsuki's words tend to be a cute, simple style word that have little to no other meaning than what is said. On a quick note, while writing her poem, pick the word kawaii and doki doki if it shows up. That right there will also help you to get 100% data completion later on, so just go ahead and make sure you do it. If you need the exact words, they are right here. Finally, Yuri's words are these big sophisticated words that most people think, what the fuck does this even mean? Same thing with Natsuki, we're going to need to click the word horror for 100% completion, so you might as well just click it now. Here are her words, for anyone who needs it. The final achievement in the poem section in Act 1 is Doki Doki Poetry Slam.
Slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
The worst name for a basketball team ever. Spend enough time during the poem minigame for the music to loop. Pretty simple, the music lasts like 2 to 3 minutes before looping. You'll probably get this trying to write the perfect poems if you don't know the words off the top of your head. The achievement Start a New Game is an achievement for, well, starting a new game. After completing the first act and watching the first girl die, proceed to click start a new game and you should get this achievement. Literally as easy as that. As you can probably see, there's going to be a weird shift where we're going to go from Act 1 to Act 3 straight away. This is primarily to do with the fact that there isn't actually any Act 2 achievements except for on Breakthrough, which I'll get to later in the video. So yeah. Yes. Monwaika is definitely my favorite girl.
Yeah, boy.
Unlike the other girls, you'll be forced to write a perfect poem at some point in Act 3. Dan, please stop bullying me. I know she'll never be real, but I wish she would. Listening to a lot of what Monica has to say before deleting her character file should get you the she will never be real achievement.
Wait here.
Leon! 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 The door's locked. I can't open it. Don't just stand there. Help me! Help me, Leon!
I think you have to sit through roughly like 15 monologues during Act 3, if I'm not mistaken. As part of the game, you need to delete Monica in Act 3, so ruin everything is basically unavoidable unless you don't want to delete her. I wouldn't blame you, just look at that face.
Hey, yo, what the f-
Thank you is gotten from beating the game and seeing the note Monica writes for you after she deletes the game. If you do the good ending first, like I did, you'll get the Dance as High achievement first instead of the thank you achievement. So go ahead and just do the thank you achievement first, that way you can just get out of the way and then go ahead and do the Dance as High. This next achievement, 2-stocked, is when you get a double kill on the girl herself, Monica. This can be done as soon as you beat the game and reset the files on the virtual desktop. Load into the game until you see Sayori, then go back to the virtual desktop and delete Monica early as you would in Act 3. This is how I personally got the 2-stocked achievement, but it's probably possible to just delete Monica normally in Act 3 when playing the game twice, which is required anyway to get both the normal ending achievement and the good ending achievement, so you can just go ahead and just skip that. As long as you already wrote the perfect poems for the girls already, the achievement Friendship and Literature should now be able to start. Side note, you guys can do these like at any time as long as you've written a poem for each of the girls. It doesn't have to be a perfect poem. I just personally do it here because at this point I've written all the poems and it's the easiest time to do it. All you need to do is finish all the side stories on the desktop. It's really as simple as that.
Stogs.
It's probably the most lore-related achievement in this video. To get it, you'll need to review Paula's project plan, projectplan.txt. This is in the game's virtual files by going through folders internal 221, and you can only open this file at 2:40 AM or PM, so either manually change your computer's time or wait for the right time. Also make sure that whenever you're setting the time to remember that it takes like a minute to start up DDLC, so personally I'd say like put it to 2:39, 2:38ish. It's up to you. There's other methods of doing this if you want to, but this is the way I personally did it, so. Side note, if you do want to get a little spicy with it, you could just like Alt-Tab and like that takes like no time at all, so that's another way to do it. If you do it this method, personally I just say like set it to 240 because it takes like 2 seconds to get into the game, and then you can just view Paula's project plan like that. Now we get into the big leagues. Whew! This is probably the second hardest achievement to get. You'll need to beat the game with the secret ending. This is gotten by writing 3 poems to Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki, as well as spending the weekend with Yuri and Natsuki, and confessing your love to Sayori all in Act 1. I know, that low-key sounds fucking impossible in one playthrough, but trust me, there is a way. To do this, you'll need to make a save before the first poem, write 3 poems for one girl, and spend the weekend / confess to that girl. Then, once the day of the festival starts, reload back to the first poem and write for a different girl. Rinse and repeat. If you did it right, Sayori will thank you at the end of the game. If you do actually get the good ending, you'll also get a note from Dan Salvato himself saying thank you for playing his game to the full extent, instead of the Monica one. If you got the regular ending, you can see the pictures that you missed that will be all like grayed out in the credits. No, these don't have to be like perfect poems, they just have to have enough preferred words to be considered a specific poem to the certain girl. Finally, we have Breakthrough. Oh my god. Sigh. The achievement that may make you want to break through your fucking skull by the end of it. Most is acquired through normal beats by progressing through the main story and side stories, however there are some that require more specific methods to get. All backgrounds are acquired from seeing certain locations in the main game and side stories, all of which you will eventually get naturally, so I just mentioned them here since there's no point of writing it further in the video. Breakthrough is probably the only achievement in this video that'll take multiple steps to achieve. What percentage have I done, you ask? You little sexy little rodent. All you need to do is go to settings and check up in the top right hand corner of the screen. First thing I need you to do is go back to the poems I know you were too lazy to pick, and pick kawaii, horror, and all these other things, you bitch. Yeah! Now we go to Act 1, where Natsuki and Yuri begin to fight about breasts. While in the fight, they'll ask you what they think. Ask Sayori for help during the argument between Yuri and Natsuki. Also a little bit later, you and Sayori begin to talk about whether you'd walk home with her or Yuri if Yuri asked. Being a simp you are, tell Sayori you'd only walk home with her. More data to collect in Act 1 is choosing to help Monika and Sayori at the weekend, instead of Natsuki or Yuri. You can't actually help Monika or Sayori, so the game will always force you to choose Natsuki or Yuri in the end. In Act 2, trying to load the game after Sayori's death by pressing load instead of a new game will give you more data collection. You'll find your saves are deleted on the game. Another Act 2 data collection piece is experiencing Natsuki's play with me scene. Okay, I swear, this is the last time we'll ever be writing a poem for these twisted women. In the poem game, you may see glitched text. Just click on it and you should get this. To get it, write the first 2 poems for her in the second act. Monika and the game will act like the second poem will always be a Yuri poem. But if you really wrote a Natsuki poem, you will see this scene. And well, her neck snapping. Any other Act 2 data collection will be on the desktop instead of in-game. The first one is to check the file poemwords.txt for anomalies. It is located inside the game folder. This can be done in any point in Act 2. This next one is an annoying one. During the weekend, make it through without pressing skip. After Yuri's death, click a bunch of times until you reach the end. I'm not even gonna lie guys, my hand has never burned so much in my life after spam clicking that. During the third act, delete Monika's character file before she begins her monologues. As soon as you were taken to the classroom in the void, go back to the virtual desktop and immediately delete her. Ain't gonna listen to even a second of her lies. Also, during the third act, press the skip button while Monika is speaking. In order for you to skip, she must repeat one of her monologues. Or in the options, check where it says skip unseen text and you can quit halfway through the monologue. After quickly resetting the game, immediately delete Monika instead of starting a new game to unlock more data. The only other bit of data to add to the collection is the Candy Hearts secret song, and reading the emails after you've completed the first side story, both which can be done in a couple minutes. When you've unlocked the song Candy Hearts, put it in the playlist and listen to it on loop as mentioned before. In a few minutes it should change and should have an extra song. Candy Hearts is one of those achievements where you kind of can just do it whenever you really want to. I preferably did it at the end just to do with the fact that I thought it was going to be easier to do it at the end than at the beginning because I had all these other fucking achievements to do. But basically you can do it at any time. One way to tell if Candy Hearts is completed or not is just to look at the end of it. If it has a Z instead of an S, that means you have the corrupted version and you should be all good to go. The final and last one to get 100% data completion is one completely based on random number generation. Fuck, I know. I'm not gonna lie, this one was the longest part in getting any achievement. Full props to my content creator Sayori for getting all the footage. I am not an easy guy to work for, so for someone like her, just nice. Thank you. You keep up this fire content and I might give you some food tonight, you little rat.
Nice.
Every time you start a new game, while Act 2, 3 secret poems are loaded. Play through most of Act 2 after you read the 3rd secret poem, choose a new game, and go through Act 2 all over again to see 3 new ones. You may encounter a glitched image of Monika or a picture of Sayori. Just a heads up, neither of these really count for anything. You only need them once and you're probably going to get them a lot more than just one time. However, you will actually get 1 perfect poem per round you go at least. You could get 3, you could get 1, it just kind of depends. Be warned, after Yuri confesses with you, Act 2 ends and you'll have to reset the game entirely in order to, well, get the rest of the poems. The final secret is known as Ghost Menu. Once you have reached far enough in Act 2 to meet Monika, Exit to virtual desktop and enter the game over and over. There is a 1 in 64 chance that a black and white image of this on the screen will appear. Click anywhere and the game will go back to the virtual desktop, unlocking the secret. Side note, remember once you get to 100%, you go to the side stories tab, scroll down, and choose test VM. The first time I ever played this, I actually had no clue that that was what you had to do, so I was like at 100% for a long time, and I was over here like, what the fuck, why am I not getting this achievement? And then eventually one of my friends was like, you dumbass, bro, you just gotta click test VM. And after all that torture, you will finally get the achievement, giving you the nectar of the gods. A beautiful pink folder for a job well done. And there you have it, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Doki Doki Literature Club will always hold a place in my heart as honestly one of my favorite games of all time. The way it twists the visual novel aspect of the game is so... I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to squirt that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in that next video. Love you guys. Bye.
And as the earth burns to the ground, oh girl, it's you that I lie with. As the atom bomb locks in, oh it's you I watch TV with. As the world